After the attempted assassination attempt on President Donald Trump, there was an image that began trending on X of this Jesus with the American flag behind him and a bandage over his right ear. Why is it over his right ear? Well, because Trump had a bandage over his right ear as well. And a lot of people were upset about this. Friends of mine like John McCrae pointed this out. And now, before we get into the particulars about this, first of all, let's just kind of point to where this probably came from. At the RNC, there were Trumpsters that showed up like this.
Look at them. Oh, this is great.
Okay, so what I'm not laughing at is that someone took a shot at the former president and who's probably going to be the 47th president. I'm not laughing at that. That is awful. That is an attack on democracy. That should never, ever happen. I don't care what part of the political aisle you're on. We've condemned that outright. It's not okay. It's okay. What I am laughing at is the Trump derangement syndrome on the other end of the spectrum. Okay, this is our savior. This is the guy, right? So there's a bunch of folks that came to the DNC and bandaged up their right ear. Someone said Nada glazing is crazy. That's going to be a big Halloween costume.
Yo, I was thinking about this yesterday, though. I was like, there's going to be some crazy, really funny Halloween costumes. And the fact that people are doing this unironically is actually really funny.
This isn't ironic.
Yeah, this isn't like, oh, we're being quirky.
Here's the thing. And you guys are going to hate me for this. And I understand it's the lesser of two evils. I'm going to share some of my thoughts. But the thing is, Trump had an opportunity to, unify, right? Unify the country. And he apparently did really well for the first 25 minutes of his speech. I watched most of it. And then he went off script.
There's a new fashion trend.
Did he?
He went off script and gave the longest speech in any convention history. He gave a 91-minute speech.
That's fire.
Did the first 25 minutes off the prompter. Amazing, great speech, bringing the country together, honoring the dude that lost his life, like the whole bit.
Yep.
And then just completely reverted back to old Trump.
Hey, man, old Trump is elected Trump.
And here at the Republican National Convention, people are walking around with pieces of paper, napkins, whatever they can find to turn into a makeshift bandage that they can put over their ear. We caught up with one guy who had just made a bandage of his own.
It's a bandage in solidarity with President Trump. So I said, I've got to do this so that people start thinking about doing this.
You made this yourself?
With a napkin, Scotch tape, and a pen.
How long do you think you're going to keep this on?
All day. In solidarity with President Trump.
In solidarity with President Trump, you got a napkin on your ear.
Yeah, and it was God's, the hand of God that saved him.
It's obviously a fun show of support for the former president on what has been a terrible and shocking week for this country. There's a new...
Okay.
Wow,
so
that's great.
That's where the ear thing came from, is that focus. Now, social media is going to do what social media does, and they go back to that picture. This started trending. And thankfully, this started trending as a response to the idolatry of this image. Jesus with an American flag with a patch as if Jesus is weeping over Trump. Now, this was posted by my buddy John McCrae. What do you mean? He said, to be clear, seeing stuff like this compels me to push so hard against it that people will inevitably start thinking I'm liberal or leftist. I'm not. I just hate seeing what this stuff is doing to the public conception of Christianity, both inside and outside of the church. Twitter is filled with this sort of nonsense. However, there's a plot twist. Honest youth pastor, guys, this is fake. I did some background research, and his was made by a never Trumper to stir up anger amongst believers. Okay, so now we have Honest Youth Pastor who does some really interesting YouTube content. He does some really interesting video essays. I don't agree with all of his stuff. I think some of his views aren't always aligned with mine, but generally speaking, I like some of his stuff. And so I like that he will go and do the heavy lifting and the research on topics like this. So shout out to the Honest Youth Pastor. Go ahead and play this.
Dudes, I was got. What do I mean I was got? Well, I posted this reel earlier today.
Stop it. Get some help.
And you know something? I got to thinking about it after I posted that reel, that this image could be completely made up by somebody that just wants to make Christians look bad. Now, I get it.
Right.
Believe me, I am not normally a conspiracy theorist in this regard, but I thought a simple image search will definitely show if it's real or if it's fake. I'll tell you what I found was disconcerting. In fact, it seems to be generated from one of two accounts, either one Reddit account, which doesn't have a lot of traction, or a Twitter account, which seems to be the one that's really generating the talk about it. But either way, the original poster refuses to actually show the source. All they say is, I saw it on Facebook, which if were true, could easily be proven by a screenshot or a link. Surely the person that made this and shared it is proud of it, and they want other people to see it as well. Even if not, you could blur out the name and show us that it was really posted on Facebook. The reality is this, believer. There's a lot of things that are going to be put out to rage bait you into reacting, reposting, and screaming at things that aren't even really real. We need to be discerning about what the things are that we really do need to talk about versus the things that are just out there to make you mad.
Yeah. So that's a W take, man. Shout out to Honest Street Pastor.
Those Russian troll farms getting to us.
Yeah. So listen, that was probably made on Dolly.
Yeah. That's
with a few minutes, and it was put online to make Christians look bad. And unfortunately, many of us took the bait. Thankfully, we didn't talk about it. I didn't share it. I didn't comment on it. But John McCrae did. And generally speaking, most people who referenced it were like, "Yo, this is not it. It's bad." If you're in Southern California or you want to come to Southern California, Bless God Summit, can we get that on the screen? The email list to sign up for this is right now available and pinned up. So if you want to be the very first to get access to discount tickets in the lineup, go to Bless God Summit. Go to the link that's pinned up. Sign up with your email. You'll be the first to get the full lineup and the first to hear about the discount tickets. All right. So thank you guys so much for being here. We will be back tomorrow. If you don't have our Bless God leadership planner, scoop that up, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right. Love you guys. Peace. After the incredible success of our Bless God prayer journal, many of you guys began to ask for something that had a planner. And so we combined our Bless God prayer journal with a brand new leadership planner that jam-packs the same things from our prayer journal with a planner, goal setting, leadership meeting, and notes. With the next pages, you can see different sections right along here of this leadership planner where you can start out with actionable goals, 12 months of calendar, our original prayer journal prompts, our leadership journal with the proven problem solution framework, and of course, just free write notes. This leadership planner is based off of Matthew 25:14-30, which of course is the parable of the talents. The vision of the planner is to help you make the most of your time, talent, and treasure. Head over to blessgod.shop and get yours today. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.
Ruslan